Hi kids, I am going to read you a story about Clarabelle, making milk and so much more. And I wore my hat to match Clarabelle. So let's see what we can learn about Clarabelle. There she is, there's Clarabelle. I'm sure you've probably seen cows like that. Just over the crest of a freshly mown alfalfa field in a huge white roofed dairy barn lives Clarabelle. Does she look like she's a happy cow? Oh, there she is, all of her. Let's see what it says about all of her. Clarabelle's black fuzzy ears jut out at right angles from the sides of her knobby head. See her ears? There they are. Her soft brown eyes are framed in black and separated by a wide band of white that runs from the top of her head to her muzzle. And her muzzle is her nose. Her angular body is covered with huge black spots that look like splashes of ink. A few pieces of grain and a stray alfalfa leaf or two stick to her whiskery nose, which spends a good part of each day burrowed in a pile of feed. See Clarabelle? Oh, look at, here's a couple kids and there's a farm. Let's see what we can learn about that. Bring the picture in good while I'm reading. Oh, we got a little glare on the page. It's about as good as I can get. Clarabelle is a Holstein dairy cow. So those black and white cows are called Holsteins. She lives with 1,200 other cows on a family farm called Nutritious, owned by Sam and Josh's parents and grandparents. Can you imagine trying to count 1,200 cows? The barn sprawls across the top of a rolling hill in northern Wisconsin, surrounded by fields of corn and hay. See the farm? Those are some pretty big barns. Thick groves of oak and maple trees dot the landscape, providing habitat for deer and other wildlife that feed on some of the corn grown for the cows. Sam and Josh, along with their two older brothers, help at the dairy when they're not in school. So they know how to take care of cows. Oh, look at here. Here is a full picture of Clarabelle. Clarabelle is big and bony. Does she look kind of bony? She weighs nearly 1,500 pounds, about as much as a soccer team of second graders with their coaches thrown in for good measure. And she's almost as tall as Josh and Sam's dad. Each year, she gives birth to a calf that weighs about 100 pounds. Then she produces milk that is bottled for drinking or made into cheese, ice cream, yogurt, and other dairy products. Did you know all those things were made from milk? Oh, look over here. We have hay, corn. Bring it in close so you can see. Down here is cottonseed and corn silage. Let's see what we can learn about those four things. To make all that milk, Clarabelle eats heaping piles of hay, corn, and soybean meal. The 7 tons of feed she chomps down every year is enough to fill a bedroom to the ceiling 3 times. Her amazing 4-compartment stomach recycles leftover food and fiber products, such as brewer's grain, sugar beet pulp, and cottonseed. Finally, the manure she creates during all this bedding for the cow stalls, Finally, the manure she creates during all this manufacturing helps generate electricity. It also provides fresh bedding for the cow stalls, as well as fertilizer for the crops grown to feed her. You could say that Clarabelle is a 4-footed factory. That. Oh, look at her here, and she had a baby. Just a little baby cow. Before Clarabelle can produce milk, she has to give birth to a calf. So see, there's her baby's called a calf. At North Swiss, calves are born every day of the year. And on the day Clarabelle's calf is born, 4 other cows give birth too. Cows don't usually need assistance with calving, but Josh and Sam happen to be helping in the barn when Clarabelle and 2 other cows calve. So they get to see that baby born. That must have been an exciting day. Oh, look at here. There's another one with its mama. There's another one. Look what they're doing. Within minutes of the big event, the newborns begin to struggle to their feet as each one endures enthusiastic cleaning by its mother's sandpapery tongue. Snuggled in the deep straw of the maternity pen, the calves are fed bottles of warm, creamy first milk by Sam and Josh. See them right there feeding? Oh, look at here. What's happening on this page? Let's find out. After giving birth, Clarabelle really goes to work. 3 times a day, beginning at 7 o'clock in the morning, she and the other cows from her pen trundle down a lane toward the milking center at North Swiss. Clarabelle waits her turn to enter a stall in the center, where a worker cleans and prepares her for milking. She stands quietly while a milking machine is attached to her 4 teats. Look at that, she's gonna give milk. How fun is that? Music floats from a boombox near the entry to the milking center as Clarabelle stands placidly chewing her cud. All the pumps and motors that run the milking equipment are located in the basement beneath the center, so the equipment stays clean and the center remains quiet for the cows. Whirring fans blow fresh air through the building. Look at all those cows. Let's see over here. As soon as the machine is attached to Clarabelle, she starts giving milk. In less time than it takes for an average kid to eat a bowl of cereal, she gives nearly 5 gallons, enough to pour on 160 bowls of cereal. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of milk. The milk then travels from the milking machine through a pipeline to a refrigerated cooler where it is kept fresh and cold. So here's the milking machine. And here's the basement beneath the milking center. That's where everything is kept clean. Oh, look here. There's where they keep the milk cold. There's the cows on top. And there are the big tanks for milk. Each of the coolers that Josh and Sam are perched on holds 6,000 gallons of milk, enough to make thousands of pounds of cheese or pails of ice cream. Twice each day, a tanker truck pulls up to the milking center, and the driver transfers a full cooler of milk to his truck. He dips out a sample of each load to test for bacteria and butterfat and protein, and to make sure it is clean and pure. Then the milk, see it right there on the truck, is hauled to a cheese factory nearby. The empty cooler is automatically washed and sanitized. Look at that. Oh, look here. There's a picture of her stomach. To manufacture all that creamy white milk, Clarabelle has to eat a lot. She stands at the manger and eats several bushels of feed at one time. Then she lies down and brings some of it back up into her mouth and chews it like bubble gum. This chewing is called rumination or cud chewing, and it is the process that allows a cow to obtain energy from plants. Clarabelle spends 4 out of every 6 hours eating and rechewing her feed. Stuff that humans could never digest travels through her 4-compartment stomach and breaks down into nutritious food. All that chewing makes her produce nearly 30 gallons of saliva a day. That's a lot of drool. The rumen, let's see where the rumen is, that's right here, is the largest of the 4 compartments in Clarabelle's stomach. It holds 25 gallons of material, or about as much as your bathtub holds when it's half full. Wow, imagine a bathtub in your stomach. The rumen works like a huge churning, bubbling vat where bacteria and other microorganisms break down the tough, chewy feed into nutrients Clarabelle can use to make milk. Look at that. Let's see what we learn next. Oh, look, what do you think this truck is doing? And down here, oh, it's getting filled with something. Mountains of chopped corn and alfalfa silage are stored at North Swiss, ready to feed the cows. Silvery bins of soybean meal, ground corn, and other dry feeds are lined up next to a giant truck scale. So that's what those things are holding. Every day, a worker scoops up piles of silage with a machine that has fat wheels and looks like an overgrown go-kart. The machine is called a telehandler because its telescoping bucket scoops up each ingredient, lifts it high into the air, and dumps it into a mixer truck. All the good stuff for Clarabelle's balanced diet is measured into the machine and tossed like an enormous garden salad. Oh, look at all the cows. The mixture is specially formulated by a dairy nutritionist to meet the needs of all the cows at North Swiss. The recipe appears on the computer screen in the mixer truck and in the barn office. The daily feast is delivered right in front of Clarabelle and her hungry herd mates when they come back from the milking center. Look at them, they're all hungry after all that day. Oh, and what do we have here? What do you think is going to be happening here? Let's find out what this truck is all about. But before Clarabelle returns to her meal, a worker scrapes the manure from her pen. The cow stalls are cleaned and fresh bedding made from manure is blown from a bedding shooter into the stalls to keep the cows comfortable. So it's the cleanup truck. And look over here. What do you see there? Cow stalls full of manure. That sounds pretty yucky. At North Swiss, a complicated bunch of equipment and storage vats located just beyond Clarabelle's barn turn manure into the cleaning bed, electricity, and fertilizer for the soil on the farm. There is a lot that goes into our milk and our cows giving it to us. Oh, look here. There's the cow. Here is the digester monitoring station. And here is bedding from the digester. Let's see what it has to say. You can look at this picture too. The system is called an anaerobic digester, a fancy name for a group of separators, tanks, and converters in which microscopic bacteria eat cow manure and in the process create methane. Methane is a flammable gas that is used to power a generator. The generator makes electricity, which is sold to the local power company. The leftover solids from the digester are used as bedding for the cows. At North Swiss, the electrical generator runs day and night, creating enough electricity to power 400 homes. That's pretty cool. So here's Sam and Josh with their father and their grandfather looking at diagrams of how the digester works. So they're learning all about that on the farm. Okay, there's the boys again. Josh and Sam's dairy farm is a big operation. Many people besides their family work there. They help cultivate hundreds of acres of crops to grow all the feed needed for Clarabelle and her 1,200 herd mates. Each cow on the farm will produce enough milk in her lifetime to feed a family of 4 for 17 years. That's a lot of milk from one cow. They're helping to feed down here and helping to feed in a different way up here. Okay, here's the last page of our story. But Clarabelle is more than just a mooing, chewing food factory. She's part of Josh and Sam's family heritage that goes back several generations. Without knowing it, she and the rest of the cows at North Swiss create food, renewable energy, and a successful business. Each day, as Clarabelle ambles down the lane from the milking center, buries her big wet nose into a pile of fragrant feed, and spends hours chewing her cud, her remarkable system produces milk and so much more. So just think of all that next time you have a glass of milk, what it takes to take the cow to the milk, to the manufacturing place, to the store, all those places and all those people that get involved just for you to have a glass of milk or milk on your cereal or ice cream or all those good things. Have a good day. Bye now.